Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the very first step to your research essay is actually conducting your research. So remember, you need both primary and secondary sources in order to complete this essay. Your primary source will be the play Someday, and then you need a minimum of 4 additional secondary sources. So that's 5 sources in total, 1 primary and 4 secondary. If you would like to include other primary sources besides Someday, that's fine, but you still need at least 4 secondary sources. Okay? So, in order to keep track of all of your research, I'm going to give each of you a bunch of these, as many as you need, of these research note templates, and this is how you're going to record your research. And I'm going to check these research notes on the due date that we agree on, and this will be phase 1 of the process for your essay. Okay? Now, in order to help you with your research, I have created a small group here on Edmodo. Okay, so when you log into Edmodo, scroll down, find the small group that says Research Essay Resources. You've all been added as members, and you'll see that I've already posted a link here to the St. Patrick website. Now, when you're doing your research, if you find a particular website or a resource that's really interesting or that you think other people may benefit from, feel free to post the link in this group here. That way we'll all share our links, and sorry, ignore that. That way we'll all share our links and we can all help each other out and make our research process a bit easier. Okay? So, we're going to click on the St. Patrick Library website, and here you'll see Ms. Mishlik has done a great job of sort of collecting a whole bunch of different resources and things for you to use to help you with your research. So we're actually going to scroll right to the top of the page here. We're going to click on Resources. Okay? And you'll see here there's a bunch of different resources listed here in this list. The one that we're going to use is going to be EBSCO. If you want to do research and look into what we have in our St. Patrick Library, you click this up here, and that'll give you an idea of what we have in our library. But for right now, we're going to click on EBSCO right here. Okay. Now, because I'm logging in from home, I need a user ID and a password. If you're logging in from home, you'll also need to sign in. The user ID and password for both is TCDSB. Okay. Okay, so that's TCDSB for both. We're going to log in. And we're going to see a whole bunch of resources listed here. For right now, because we're just doing a general search just to get some info, let's click on EBSCO Host Interface. And I'm going to click Select All because I don't want to limit my research at this point in my search. Okay, so now I'm going to type in some keywords so I get an idea of sort of what I'm looking for, and your essay is about the 60s scoop, so I'm going to type in 60s scoop, and I'm going to see what comes up. Okay, so here I have a whole bunch of different newspaper articles. I have a few periodicals. These are periodicals. So a periodical is an academic journal. Okay, so there's lots of different periodicals here. It looks like there's about 5 pages of resources, so there's a lot of really good stuff here. So let's start off with just a general newspaper article. Newspaper articles are good sources when you're starting because they give you just sort of the gist without going into too much detail. And when you're just trying to understand a topic, this might be a good place to start. Okay, so here's all the information. Here's the article down here. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my research note. Okay, and you'll notice here I have some information that I have to keep track of. Okay, keeping track of this information is going to make it easier to do your works cited and your in-text citations in order to ensure that we are properly giving credit to information that is not coming from our own brains. We all know that when you don't do that, it's called plagiarism. So when it says source here, I'm going to put number 1. Now the reason I put a place for source number is that if you have a system of annotating or whatever while you're writing, you can just say insert quotation 2 from source 1, and we'll know what you're talking about, just to keep your resources in order. Okay, so the title here, we're looking at the title of the article. So let's go back and check what that was. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste the title of the article. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so here's the title of the article. I'm going to check and see what the author was. The author is right here. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Makes it easy. Copy, and I'm going to go back to my notes, paste that. Okay, you can figure out the formatting after. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing for editors, publishers, city of publication, publication date, URL if I'm using a website, and the access date if I'm using a website. So just put as much information here as you can find. If you can't find it, don't worry about it, okay? You can only cite as much information as you are given. So for example, we're using a newspaper article. I may not necessarily have a publication date. Actually, I might because it's a newspaper article. But if I were using a website, I may not have an editor or an author, okay? Just put as much information as you can get, okay? Now down here, this is where I'm going to put my notes, okay? Now I've given you space. If you need more space, you can attach paper to it. All right, just take point form notes on the most important details, okay? Once you've taken all of your notes, then you can go back and either, I would always highlight or color code my notes to group them into ideas, and those can be the topics for your body paragraphs, okay? So that's just a little introduction to research note-taking. We're going to have an opportunity to work on this in class, but I just wanted to give you a bit of an intro before we get started, okay? So remember, if you need sort of direction as to where to look, you log on to Edmodo, okay? In the Research Essay Resources tab, I've posted the link to the St. Patrick Library website where there's lots of really good stuff in there. If you come across other stuff when you're doing your research and you want to post the link in here for your classmates, that's a great idea. It would help us out a lot, okay? So that's it, and happy researching.